You're not gonna like what I'm about to tell you, but the motivation industry doesn't actually want you to feel motivated. They want you to feel inadequate, because people who feel inadequate click more, buy more, watch more, and keep coming back like motivation is some kind of emotional caffeine. Today, I'm going to explain exactly how they do it and why it's quietly messing with your life more than you think.
All right, let's talk about what's actually going on behind the scenes. Because the motivation industry isn't just selling you inspiring speeches and cinematic slow-mo shots. They're selling you a story, a very specific one. And the story goes like this. You're not enough as you are, but don't worry, we'll fix you. That's the machine. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Motivation content looks like it's designed to lift you up, but behind the curtain, the entire industry runs on the same engine, your insecurity. If you woke up tomorrow genuinely feeling content, calm, and okay with being a normal human being, you wouldn't binge motivation videos. You wouldn't buy the course. You wouldn't sign up for the challenge. You wouldn't keep scrolling looking for the next "I needed this today" clip. The industry works like caffeine. They need you to crash so you'll come back for another hit.
Motivation videos aren't showing you normal success. They're showing you the 1% of the 1%. The ultra achievers, the people waking up at 4 a.m. to run up mountains. The people who have 0% body fat and 100% productivity. The people who rebuilt their entire lives in 3 weeks because a YouTuber told them to get after it. Why? Because normal doesn't go viral. Balance doesn't go viral. Moderation doesn't go viral. But extremes? Extremes spread like wildfire. The machine knows this. They feed you the outliers and then make you feel like you're the one falling behind.
Here's where the manipulation quietly happens. Every motivation video reminds you of how far you still have to go, but never acknowledges how far you've already come. Why? Because progress creates peace, and peace doesn't sell. Instead, they keep you focused on more discipline, more hustle, more improvement, more grinding, more. They take the goalpost and slide it 6 miles further every time you get close, so you never feel done, you never feel good enough, and you never stop watching. I used to watch these videos and think, wow, this is helping me. But then one day, I noticed a pattern. Right after watching one, I'd feel pumped. But a few hours later, I'd feel worse about myself than before I watched it. And I'd think, crap, I need another video. I need another hit of motivation. I wasn't seeking motivation, I was seeking relief. Relief from the expectation that I had to be spectacular. That's when I realized what was happening. The videos weren't fixing my insecurity. They were feeding it. Because insecure me will always come back for another video. Content me? Balanced me? Grounded me? They don't get views.
If the motivation industry actually taught you the truth that improvement can be simple, slow, unglamorous, and human, you wouldn't need them anymore. But if they convince you, you need us to feel inspired, you need this to stay disciplined, you need motivation every day or you'll fail, then boom, you're trapped in a psychological subscription. The truth is, real growth doesn't look like a montage. It looks like a bunch of boring days in a row. But they can't sell boring, so they sell pressure disguised as inspiration.
The motivation industry doesn't exist to make you motivated. It exists to keep you almost motivated. Motivated enough to watch, but not enough to change your life without them. Because once you stop needing them, their business falls apart. That's the truth behind the machine. And once you see that, you're finally free to grow for yourself, not because someone online told you you're not enough yet.
The real cost of the motivation industry isn't wasted time. It's self-hate. Slow, quiet, creeping. Because every time you're told, be extraordinary, your brain hears, you're not enough yet. And every time you fail to live up to that impossible standard, you lose a little respect for yourself. You start thinking you're broken. But you're not broken. You're just drowning in unrealistic expectations disguised as inspiration.
All right, so here's the part every motivation video refuses to tell you. Not because it's a secret, but because it's not sexy. The real solution isn't hype. It's not discipline hacks. It's not waking up at 4 a.m. or chugging cold showers or journaling with a pen made out of volcanic crystals. It's this. Stop trying to be extraordinary. Start trying to be consistent. That's it. It sounds small, almost disappointing, but stay with me. Because there's a reason consistency works and be great doesn't.
Your brain will fight you every time you try to make a dramatic overnight transformation. Not because it hates you, but because it has one job: protect your energy. When you try to take on 12 new goals at once, get fit, learn Spanish, start a business, change my entire personality, become enlightened by next Tuesday, your brain goes, nope, that's too much. Sit down. But when you give it something small, something doable, something that doesn't require changing your whole identity overnight, it actually lets you move. This is why consistency beats intensity 100% of the time.
I remember trying that classic New Year's thing. I'm going to become a whole new person starting tomorrow. I bought notebooks, I made charts, I color-coded my goals like some kind of overachieving kindergartner. And guess what happened? By day 4, I was stressed, tired, over-caffeinated, and ashamed. All the motivation in the world still couldn't carry the weight of a completely unrealistic plan. So the next week, out of frustration, I tried something different. I picked one thing, one small thing. Not go to the gym every day, just walk for 10 minutes. That's it. And embarrassingly, it worked. Because for the first time, my brain wasn't panicking. It wasn't overwhelmed. It wasn't trying to bargain with me like, okay, but what if we skip today because it's cloudy and we're tired and Mercury is in retrograde? It was simple. It was doable. And because it was doable, I kept doing it. That 10 minutes turned into 20, then into actual workouts, and eventually into feeling like a healthier version of myself without constantly fighting with myself. And that's when I realized small consistency is more powerful than big motivation.
Think of your life like a bunch of plants. Work plant, health plant, relationship plant, dreams and goals plant, mental health plant. Motivation culture tells you to water all of them every day perfectly. But real life doesn't work like that. You don't have the time, energy, or emotional bandwidth to be a full-time gardener of everything. So here's what actually works. Pick one plant to water, let the others be alive-ish. Not dead, not thriving, just alive-ish. And when that one plant gets stronger, healthier, sturdier, you'll naturally have more energy to water another one. Not because you force it, but because you finally have the capacity. This is how real change happens, not through pressure, through pacing.
Here's the part that quietly frees you. You don't need to optimize your entire life. You just need to improve one tiny corner of it. Because one corner leads to another. One habit leads to another. One victory leads to another. Not out of hype, out of momentum. And momentum is the real engine of transformation, not motivation. Momentum.
Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do consistently that future me would genuinely thank me for? Make it so small you can do it on your worst day. So simple your brain won't fight it. So clear you don't need motivation to start. Examples? 10-minute walk. Write for 5 minutes. Read 1 page. Do 5 push-ups. Clean 1 corner of your room. Drink 1 full glass of water. Do a 2-minute meditation. Message 1 friend you miss. That's it. Pick one. Stick with it for 2 weeks. Watch what happens. Not to your results, to your sense of self. Because consistency builds the one thing motivation never can, self-trust. And once you trust yourself,
You become unstoppable in the quiet, real human way, not the cinematic I will conquer the universe way. The motivation industry wants you chasing greatness, but real life doesn't reward greatness. It rewards consistency. One small habit at a time, one honest step at a time, one imperfect day at a time. That's the shift that actually works every single time. Listen, if you've been feeling behind or not good enough, or like you're failing because you don't wake up every day ready to conquer the universe, take a breath. You're not a machine, you're a person, and your worth has never depended on how exceptional you look from the outside. Don't let an industry built on insecurity decide how you feel about yourself. You don't need to be explosive. You don't need to be unstoppable. You don't need to be extraordinary. You just need to be someone who shows up gently, persistently, imperfectly. And that is more than enough.